Duane Thomas and his brother Bertrand appeared at the Hunt County Courthouse shortly before 9 o'clock this morning. Flanked by attorneys Larry Green and Bill Pemberton, they went immediately to the district courtroom of Judge Hollis Gorman. Others appeared relaxed. They answered Judge Hollis Gorman's questions with simple yes-ers and no-sers. They assured the judge that they could and would live up to the terms of the probation. Jerry Park, Channel 8 News, on the move at the Hunt County Courthouse in Greenville.
Evidently, some trailer trucks loaded with hydrogen cylinders caught fire from underneath, evidently around the rear wheels. This caused the safety valves on the hydrogen cylinders to blow, which allowed the hydrogen to escape and were set fire, although it doesn't take very much heat to set this hydrogen afire. It set numerous grass fires around here. There were just 2 trailer trucks involved in the fire. There was 4 trailers loaded with hydrogen here at the time, but only 2 of them were really involved in the fire.
How many pieces of equipment, how many men?
We had 13 pieces of men, 54 men. 13 pieces of equipment, 54 men. Mr. Yaddick is the investigator.
The first alarm was what time?
The first alarm came in at 12:47. The second alarm was transmitted at 12:51. The third alarm at 12:57.
Any injuries?
No injuries yet, and the cause so far is undetermined.
While most teenagers are clamoring for a driver's license on their 16th birthday, that's not enough for Elizabeth Winthrop. She's 16 years old today, and the sky is the limit. She's soloing for her student pilot's license today at Kitty Hawk Airport. She's following in the footsteps of her dad, Jack Winthrop, a Braniff pilot for 25 years. For Liz, flying has been a family affair for years and years. Her dad met her mother while teaching her to fly, and since then he's taught 2 older sisters of Liz to fly. In keeping with the airport's theme, Kitty Hawk, Liz has a unique challenge today. She's soloing in her dad's 3 antiquated airplanes, a Waco UP-F7, a J4, and a J3 Piper Cub. I asked Elizabeth's proud papa, Jack, how he feels his daughter's doing today.
Oh, there's no worry about her. She's the best student I've ever had. I wouldn't mind to go back instructing if they were all like she is.
It's not hard to teach your own daughter?
Not this one. I had a little trouble with one of the other ones, but she finally got with it, and Elizabeth's been real easy. She'd been around them most of her life, and there wasn't much teaching. She'd learn by watching.
I talked to Elizabeth as she completed her first solo and her dad's pride and joy. Happy birthday, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Do you think that having your dad teach you to fly was a help or hindrance?
Well, I believe it was help because, he has his certain little ways he wants to do it. And I think it made him happy to be able to have me. It's just, he was the only one that taught me. And then he's never had a son, and I was kind of his son, but his daughter at the same time. I think it helped him.
Was it kind of frightening looking around and noticing that Daddy just wasn't there today?
A little. It scared me, but then I realized, I have to do it. I don't have to, but I want to do it. That's the only way to get it done.
Do you think you're going to be another Amelia Earhart, or what do you plan to do with this license?
Well, I plan to go on into my private next year on my 17th birthday, my commercial on my 18th, and then go on into an instructor and maybe take aerobatic lessons and go into the competition.
I asked Elizabeth what her encore was for tomorrow. She's going to get her motorcycle license and her driver's license. This is Donna Witkowski for Channel 8 News, on the move at Kitty Hawk Airport in Allen, Texas.
At the pretrial proceeding, first Duane, then Bertram, unexpectedly entered guilty pleas to the charge of possession of marijuana. They both waived a jury trial and made application for probation. Hunt County District Attorney Larry Miller said the crime was punishable by confinement not less than 2 years nor longer than life. Judge Gorman then found the Thomas brothers guilty and recessed until 1:30 when he set the probation sentence. Neither Thomas nor his lawyers would make any statement. I did, however, talk to District Attorney Larry Miller.
In the history of Hunt County, not only in the history of Hunt County, but I think in the history of Dallas County and other counties in this state, juries repeatedly assessed a probated and suspended sentence for young persons who have had no prior felony convictions, such as is the case in Duane Thomas and his brother Bertrand Thomas. So, insofar as suspended sentence, this is right down the line in accordance with all other cases. Insofar as the number of years assessed by Judge Gorman, 5 years probated, this again is right in line with the number of years that the experience and history of Hunt County juries, which they have given in marijuana cases, first offense.
Attorneys, set.
It does indeed, to the extent that access to those eastern supplies also gets strangulated. Why, that of course has an indirect effect on our petrochemical industry also. And this is of grave concern to us. We just don't have the technology today to shift to any other feedstocks other than petroleum feedstocks. So we've almost got to start our industry all over again, you might say.
Now that the smoke is cleared, it's interesting to look back at Friday night's raids and the events which surrounded them. As you may recall, District Attorney Doug Crouch announced on radio and television at 6 o'clock Friday that the raids were going on and that 92 indictments had been issued against repetitious pushers in the business of peddling dangerous drugs and narcotics. In view of the secrecy which had always surrounded the activities of narcs before, it was feared by many that the pre-bust announcement would seriously hamper arrest efforts. As Friday night turned into Saturday morning and the number of arrests continued to climb, it became less certain that the announcement by the district attorney had really been a factor. A tabulation just before news time tonight shows that of 50 persons indicted, only 39 have been arrested. Another 8 persons were also hauled in, although they had not been indicted, when they were found to be holding suspected drugs. 19 persons have thus far been released on $2,500 bond each. Whatever else may have been learned from the entire affair, there should be few, if any, parents or children in North Texas who are not now very clearly aware of the fact that narcotics are still very much in evidence, and that every segment of the drug culture is infiltrated by the men of the narcotics squads. Dozens of people, both the directly involved and those who were just witnesses, must surely have learned a lesson from the events of Friday night. What lesson they learned and how well remains to be seen. Jerry Taft, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
Well, I don't believe that I would characterize ourselves confronted with a East versus West confrontation on this subject. I think we can recognize this, that the oil-producing countries of the Middle East, and this includes Venezuela and a number of other countries that are outside of the Middle East, have come to recognize the importance which they play in world economics and have elected to associate themselves primarily through an organization called OPEC, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, and they have, as demonstrated within the past year, showed the effectiveness of their coalition by almost unilaterally imposing a very substantial increase in the price of world oil for the benefit of their own country's tax state.
Well, it seems to me that he's gotten a good reception when you consider the hostile statements that have been made by the Red Chinese about the United States and about the President. I think that in that light, he's been relatively warmly received.
If you had the chance, would you go to Red China?
Well, if the President felt that I could be useful in going to China, I would probably go. However, I think it's good that he made this journey on his own and without any members of Congress going along with him. I think it affords him a little bit better climate in which to negotiate or deliberate with the Chinese leadership.
How about in the future?
Well, in the future, who knows what will happen?